All right, Seth here with the Ranch Athletics. Today, I want to talk about a topic that we have a lot of questions about, there's a lot of confusion about, and what that has to do with is how the ankle or how your foot actually moves when we're running, and we're more referring to eversion of the foot, or we hear it called pronation. So, we're going to kind of talk about what that is, how we can go about correcting it, if we need orthotics, or there's other ways to balance this out, problems associated with this issue. So, first thing I want to show you is kind of what we're actually talking about to have kind of a clear picture. So, when people walk and when the foot, eversion is actually when that foot drops in or rotates inwards. So, if you look at my foot, when somebody steps forward, you can see if you look at this bone right here, the ankle, their foot collapses in this inward direction, the knee, everything twists inwards. So when we're running, what we've got here is a lot of stress on the plantar fascia. You've got knee issues developing here, puts the hips out of place. We're just not in a very stable position. The foot's collapsing and creating stability passively. So now we're relying on that bone structure to hold us up instead of being able to land, create stability or torque through the musculature. The other place you see it is when people walk with their feet turned out in this position or run like this. So now when I'm stepping forward, because I'm headed in this direction, my knee, everything's tracking this direction, and I have that same collapse in the foot, and now we're just putting a ton of cross load on that knee. It's really meant to hinge in this direction, not from side to side. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about eversion or pronation of the foot, is that inward collapse. So a few ways we're going to go about correcting this. Most commonly, people are going to refer to getting an arch support, something to help create that stability we're missing under the foot. So if we think about that, we've got this arch here that's designed to spread load between the forefoot and the heel, and it's meant to work that way. It's not, if we took a bridge, it's meant to be loaded on either end. The foot works in the same manner. So if we put an arch support in there, we're really not creating the stability, we're not fixing anything. We're loading the foot in a really weird pattern. So we're gonna have mechanical issues. And every time I've seen somebody in orthotic, they eventually have to get a bigger and better orthotic down the road because they're not fixing anything and they continue to break themselves. So around this, the first thing we're going to look at is actually just creating stability. Most people are kind of lazy in their position. Your whole entire body has posture. We think about it when we're sitting down, we're always supposed to sit upright, have good posture or whatnot. The same thing goes with the feet when we're standing. The feet need to be nice and straight underneath the hips, and they're going to be straight is a huge thing. We're not turned out like this, we're not standing like this, or moving around like that. You see people doing that stuff all the time. I even have a habit of doing it on occasion. So what I want you to do is feet nice and straight. We're going to actually twist the feet into the ground, and you can see from here, it lifts the arch up and creates a very stable platform. And all we're doing is squeezing the butt and rotating out, creating hip stability, driving our feet into the ground. So one, just knowing that position or what we're actually looking for is going to help create that stability. And the other things we're going to look at is actually creating strength around that movement and actually creating the range of motion we need in the ankle. Those two missing factors are going to limit your ability to run. So simple, easy way to do that is with your squats. Set up on a box, anything. You can do them body weighted first, then we can start adding weight or whatever down the road. There's other ways to do that, but that's for a different story or a different time. So, same thing, I get set up here, I'm a little wider stance because I'm going to squat. The feet get screwed in the ground, butt abs are tight, everything's set up. I'm going to sit back and down, and if you look at that, my arch stays nice and rigid, nice and stable, and I can work on moving around through that movement, working on my squat and developing the strength and the position I need. If I start letting my legs collapse, or I turn the feet out and I start doing my squats, you can see how the foot everts or rolls inward, and we have that eversion again. So we want to work around creating that stability or fixing that movement. Squats, huge, perfect, easy way to do that. Tons and tons of squats. It's going to solve a lot of issues. The other thing I'm going to look for, a lot of people are wearing Women especially are wearing high heels, or men are wearing elevated shoes, boots. We're just missing a ton of range of motion through the foot. And if we look at how much range of motion we need, we should be able to actually stand with your feet together, squat all the way down here. I should be able to comfortably stand where I don't roll back. I don't feel this burning sensation through the front of my shins. We need that much range of motion because when I run forward or step forward, you can see how my knee tracks over the foot. If I don't have that range of motion, I get that spitting out motion. You do weird things with the foot. And that foot's gonna collapse regardless of how strong you are or how conscious or aware of the movement you are. So simple, easy way to fix that. I like to put my foot up here on a box. I'm gonna make sure it's twisted into the ground. My knee is never gonna cross the front of my body. As soon as it does, my foot collapses, right? So we're gonna put the foot nice and stable right here. And then I like to block the knee from actually being able to drop inwards. And then I can just drop down by bringing my butt towards my ankle. And then I can push forward. So you may only get to here today or whatever. That's totally fine, that's really common. But eventually I want you to get down here where I can actually press on that leg. Make sure your heel's not coming up because I'm not doing myself any good. Nice solid position. I can work on really pressing and opening up that ankle, different directions, just kind of in and out of it. Spend some time here. This is gonna take a while to fix. It doesn't happen overnight, but most people that are very diligent about this, you're gonna start making changes immediately and it will progressively get better. And then what we'll find out, when you're running, your foot's not collapsing inwards, you're not worried about those orthotics or special shoes that are gonna help create that false stability. So it is something you can correct. It's not something you do need arch supports for. It's something you should start working on today.